My name's Phil. I'm here to share with you what it's like living with end-stage renal failure. Going on holiday with end-stage renal failure, or as I call it, going on holiday with the mutants, is a lot like going on holiday with kids. So everything I do, from the decision of how far to drive, to where are we going to stay, to what are we going to eat, to what are we going to do today, it's all those decisions are made based on what can the mutants put up with, what's going to allow them to keep working. And of course, I'm not the only person on holiday who gets affected by these decisions.
Good morning. It's just gone 7:15 on Friday morning. This is pretty early for me. I struggled to get up at 7:30 on a work day. So obviously today I'm motivated, and good reason. We're going on holiday. So the plan is I get on dialysis as soon as possible, definitely well before 8:30. And then when I'm finished, my wonderful wife will do her regular Friday gym session, and then hopefully we'll have the car packed and we'll be gone by mid-afternoon. So I guess I'll catch you on the road. I need to get on with getting breakfast.
All right, we've made it to open road. We had a bit of a miscommunication there, and the gym session's happening when we get to our destination. So we left a bit earlier, which is probably not a bad thing because there were some snow warnings on the roads we need to go through yesterday. They seem to have disappeared, but the drive conditions may be a bit questionable, and seeing when I used to drive in the snow, it's probably worth allowing a bit of extra time. I'm going to share some of the scenery we see as we go, as we head where we're going, but, it's over a 2.5 hour drive, so you're probably not going to watch the whole thing. So I'll just pick out the best bits.
We got here about 5:30 last night. After checking in and settling into the room, it was dinner time, so we went down the bar for a bite to eat. Plan was to come back and take the mutants down to one of the hospitals that's just across from our room. But I was so exhausted from the ride that even just lifting my legs up on the bed seemed like an impossible task. So my wonderful wife made the use of a pool, and I just basically crashed out on the bed. In fact, I think it was because I was so tired. I had symptoms that I had really had since before I went into dialysis. So that took a bit of working out. By the time I had warmed up and I would figure out the aircon, that sort of thing, I went out like a light, had a really good sleep, and apart from a bit of rubbing in the back, I'm right as rain today, so we'll get into some of those pools and have a look around the area. Just in case you're interested, this is the room that we stayed in. It really only had one drawback, which wasn't the size. It was facing the road. But then that's not all bad, because straight across from the balcony is the pool where we like to start our morning. Oh, so good. Next order of the day was attending our buffet breakfast, where the view from our seat out the window was gorgeous, and the view of the breakfast plate was not much worse. Although, if you have viewed my video about dietary requirements, you'll see that the sausages and tater tots and the orange juice are not things I would normally eat. Okay, we're in Taupo looking for something to eat, and we've never tried Texas barbecue before, so we thought we'd give it a shot. Needless to say, the menu was not entirely renal friendly, but I did the best I could. After lunch, we went for a walk through a domain and found an air relief familiar statue, and then we followed that up with a walk down the lakeside, which was really relaxing. And then we crossed over to the marina, where we got a delicious cup of coffee to recharge ourselves for the walk back uphill to the car.
Well, that was a great walk around the lake. Not the whole lake, but the lakefront in Taupo. Now we're back. My wonderful wife has gone off to the gym to catch up on the workout she didn't get in yesterday. I'm a bit tuckered, so I'm gonna have a sleep for an hour, and then I'll meet her down there, and we're gonna make use of the spas before we're heading off for dinner.
I always find a soak in a hot pool or spa relaxing for my distended stomach. But the Wairakei, the native bushes that are carefully gardened around it, just add to the effect. I started off with good intentions for breakfast the next morning, but I couldn't get past the sausages. What's the point of holiday if you can't enjoy yourself? The previous day's exertions had taken the toll a bit, and the trip back to the room was a bit slower than usual.
So we're about to embark on the Craters of the Moon geothermal walk. Moon base alpha it is not, but it is pretty spectacular. And we're looking forward to seeing some pretty decent thermal activity as we make our way around. It's supposed to be an hour's easy walk. We'll see what we make of it. Okay. We made it around Craters of the Moon in 1 hour 10 minutes. Not that we were racing. Far from it, in fact. It was quite hard going in places, but it was beautiful, so well worth it. Well worth the trip.
Once we were back in the room, I had another nap, of course, and then back to the same routine as the night before, with a spa followed by not entirely renal compliant meal.
So it's the last day of holiday, sadly. We've gotten up a bit earlier than we have been the rest of the weekend. We want to get in a soak in the pool and some breakfast before we have to check out. So it's probably a good payoff for an earlier start, but also beautiful foggy morning that we've missed out on the rest of the weekend because we've been asleep. So yeah, it was a beautiful start to the day.
Okay, we're home. My wonderful wife is unpacking the car. I'm getting on dialysis as fast as I can because I'm going to finish quite a bit later than I normally would. The machine will not run unless it's done a disinfection in the past 48 hours. And normally I would do this on a Sunday so that it's ready for Monday. But of course, we weren't here. So I'm going to have to run a disinfection before I prime the machine. So I'm going to get onto that. And thanks for joining us. If you've watched many of my other videos, you'll have already come to the conclusion that I spent quite a bit of time thinking about what I'm eating, what my energy levels are like, and anything else that may or may not be going on in my body at the time. When I am away for the weekend, I tend to relax a bit about that. Not entirely, of course, because there's only so much your body can do, but I tend not to put so much pressure on myself. I tend to eat things, as you've probably noticed, that I wouldn't normally eat, maybe in greater quantities. I tend to push myself physically harder than I normally would. So the upshot of that is that when I get home from holiday, I'm physically pretty wrecked. But there's a bonus, and that is for those 2 or 3 days that I'm away. It's kind of like a feeling of freedom. For the first days when I come back, the first couple of days maybe, um, it hits me again, and I kind of feel trapped by this condition that there's things I can't do, so little I can do, is what it feels like. I know there's things I can do, but um, I feel very limited. Um, After a couple of days, I sort of get over that and get on with life. But for the 2 or 3 days that we were away when this video was taken, I felt almost like my old self. I was able to do things that I normally not do, uh, and not worry so much about what was going on.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it or found it interesting, I'd appreciate it if you could hit like. If you want to know more about what it's like living with end-stage renal failure, then go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.